Good morning again. This is Kamera. We're on day 112. 2 Kings chapter 4 and 5 starts off with a woman approaching Prophet Elisha. Her husband has died. Creditors are threatening to take her two sons into slavery. Elisha tells her to grab the one flask that she has. She has a flask with a little oil in it, a little pot with oil in it, basically. It's a flask or a pot. He tells her, go gather as many empty jars as you can and make sure there's a lot of jars. Once she gets those jars, he says, take them into your home, close the door behind you, and I want you to pour from that flask or that pot, whichever one you want to call it. Pour from that and just continue pouring from that. And once she was done with all the jars, the oil that she was pouring into the jars that came from nowhere, basically, that filled up all the jars, it stopped flowing. And so he told her to take all those jars that were filled with olive oil and sell it. Once you sell it, pay off your creditors, and you and your sons live off the remaining of it. So, whoa, right? After that, I don't know how far along later, Elisha goes to Shunem. And at Shunem, he meets this wealthy woman. She invites him over, and I guess he eats dinner with them. And after that, she notices that whenever he came to town often, and what she had done was she created or had built a room on her roof. She's thinking whenever he comes in, have a place to go inside that room. She placed a bed, a table, a chair, a lamp. And so, yeah, the man of God has a place to go. Doesn't have to worry about where he's going to sleep when he goes to Shunem. And so at one of the visits, Elisha was grateful, and he wanted to show some love because she showed love. And so he has his assistant, Gehazi, to call her into his room. And when she came to his room, he asked, what is it I can do for you? Would you like me to talk to the king for you? And so she's like, no, I'm good. I have everything I need. And so she leaves, and so he asks Gehazi, is there anything she needs? Gehazi says, well, she's young, her husband's old, and she has no children. And so he summons her back, and Elisha tells her, this time next year, you're going to have a son. She's like, don't get my hopes up. Okay, now, don't get my hopes up. And so, lo and behold, a year later, she has a son. Isn't that something? But years later, as the kid got older, he's in the field with his father, starts complaining about his head hurting. Father says, take the child to his mother. Mother gets her son, and the son dies in her arms. She takes the baby up to the man of God's room, lays him in the bed, and she closes the door. She then summons her husband to send her call for her husband, tell him to send her a donkey and some other things. So she gets the donkey, tells him she's going to go and seek the man of God. He's like, wait, this is not the time of the year that we go and, see the man of God. So she's like, oh, I'm going to go. Be right back. So as she leaves, she tells her servant, don't go slow. I'll tell you when to go slow. Okay, so when they get there, as they draw nearer to Elisha, he sends out his assistant Gehazi. Gehazi goes out, greet her. Is everything well with you, your son, your husband? And she's like, we're good. Bypasses him, runs and falls down at the feet of Elisha. And Gehazi went to grab her, and Elisha's like, no, this woman is troubled. And so she said, I told you not to get my hopes up. And so he quickly tells Gehazi, quickly goes to the child, take my staff, place it on his head. And this is the thing. Elisha was kind of confused because God had not told him that lady was coming there. He did not tell her that God did not reveal to him anything that was going on with this lady. And so Gehazi gets the staff, but this lady says, I'm not leaving with him. I'm not going back until you go back. And so he takes her, and they go back. And Gehazi, he went ahead of them. And when they got to the house, Gehazi told him the kid is still dead. So Elisha runs upstairs and he performs this thing. He does something, nothing happens. The kid doesn't come up, doesn't rise. And so but the kid's body did start to get warm. So what he did was he did what he did before, laid on top of the kid, eye to eye, nose to nose, mouth to mouth, hands to hands. Kid, yeah, he lives. So he called the woman, told her to come to the kid. Of course, she was exceedingly glad about that. Who wouldn't be, right? And so fast forward, he leaves, go to Gilgal. There's a famine going on there. While he's there, a group of prophets come there. They make some stew. Not thinking, someone pulled and grabbed some herbs that were poisonous, put that in the stew. People started to get sick. Elisha said, grab me a bowl of flour. They give him that flour. He sprinkles the flour in the stew. Stew is good. Stew is good. So there you have it. There was another miracle. This miracle was something like we saw in the New Testament. This man, remember there's a famine. This man presents a sack of grain and I believe 5 loaves of bread to Elisha. Elisha said, feed that 100. There was 100 people, feed them. And so one of the guys was like, what? This is not enough to feed 100 people. He says, well, the Lord said to feed them, and there should be enough, even leftovers. And how about this? He was right. Everyone got fed, and there were leftovers. Yes, Elisha. And so fast forward, in the land where it talks about this king Abram. Abram was not really about him. It's about his commander, who is Naaman. Naaman is his commander, the king's commander of the army. He really likes Naaman. Naaman is he feels like the Lord has blessed them because of Naaman. They're victorious in everything they do because of him. And so Naaman is a leper. Previously, they had ravished Israel, and they took some people because they took this young girl. This young girl is now the servant of Naaman's wife, and she looks at Naaman. She noticed that Naaman is leprous. Okay, and so what she does is she says, there's a man of God in Israel who can heal him, and so Naaman takes that information back to the king. The king sends Naaman to Israel with, I think, 250 pounds of silver, 150 pounds of gold. Or was it 300 pounds of silver? I don't even remember. 10 sets of new apparel. And so in a letter asking him to heal Naaman. Naaman goes to the king. King is distraught. How can I do this? I don't have the power to heal anybody. And is he trying to start trouble? And so, Elijah hears about it. Elijah just sent Naaman this way. He needs to know there's a prophet in Israel. So get this. Naaman goes to the prophet Elijah's house. At the door, Prophet Elijah sends he sends a messenger to tell Naaman, go and bathe in the Jordan River 7 times, dip 7 times. Naaman's upset. First of all, he couldn't even come and tell me himself, and then he wanted me to go bathe in this dirty water. There are better waters than Damascus and a couple other places he mentioned. And so he's all upset. He stomps off in a rage. And so one of his reasonable officers, thank God, you need some people with wisdom around you. They're like, well, if the man of God would have told you to do this difficult thing, you would have done it without a problem. What is this? You just go there, dip 7 times, and come out healed. So he listens to his reasonable officers, go and dip 7 times. I mean, dirty water, making someone so clean, right? Healthy skin. Just healed and all. So he's happy. He goes back, try to give those gifts to Elisha. Elisha said, no, we don't. I'm good. We're good. So this man's like, oh my God, I'll never serve any other God, never. Can I please take some of your dirt with me? I'm thinking he's going to sprinkle some on the ground. That's going to be his little praying spot, right? And so he said, but pardon me, when my king, when he does go and offer sacrifice and praise to his God, he does allow me to help him down in his prayer. So please pardon me of that. Elijah said, go in peace. So get this, his assistant Gehazi goes and chases after Naaman, conspires this lie. He concocts this terrible lie and says that, oh, Elisha will like those, at least half those gifts that you offered him. A couple of prophets came in, so he's going to need that stuff. Naaman's like, yeah, he'll please take it all, right? So he said, take it all. So what he does is he sends Gehazi with two of his servants to help him carry everything back, right? Gehazi, when he gets close, he sends the servants back to Naaman, and he hides the stuff. He hides it. All right. Fast forward. Elisha calls for Naaman. For Gehazi, confronts him. Gehazi lies. Elisha's like, don't you realize my spirit was there when Naaman first got off his horse or donkey? I'm not sure if it was a donkey or a horse. Read the word, guys. And so he says, this is not the time to gather for yourself, to gather the house, to gather for the jewels, all the stuff, all the substance. This is not the time for this. And so he said, because you did that, now there's a curse on you and your family. You're going to have leprosy, and your lineage is going to always have leprosy. Yeah. Was it worth it, Gehazi? Was it? And so he walks out, and as he leaves Elisha, he has leprosy. Was it worth it, Gehazi? Guys, this word, I'm sure there's some things I missed. Make sure you read the word, please, and ask God to give you understanding. How can you apply this in your life, right? Ask God to open your mind, understand your heart to receive it, okay? So this is some good stuff. I know it's long, but it's so lots of drama, guys. If you're bored, that's on you, because this word is really good. Ask God to help you to find interest in his word, please. And that's it, guys. Day number 112, 2 Kings chapter 4 and 5. You guys have a God-filled blessed day.